Well, wait, I used to do it like this. In 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Used to be what I did for a living. In case y'all didn't know, one of the things I did in my career in television was working as a floor director, aka floor producer, aka I stood beside the cameras and told the anchors for the TV show what to do when we were coming out of commercial breaks. Levi was just giving me the countdown because he hit the start button. That's what that was all about, if you're wondering. Okay, let's see here. Make sure that we are live from Costa Rica. Live from Guanacaste, Costa Rica. You are joining Meg Pearson live in her kitchen. We made it back. Let's see here. I'm so confused. Facebook has a new interface and I'm still trying to figure it out. Producer, aka. There it is. All right. Boom shakalaka. Yes, Facebook has a new interface, so I'm having trouble seeing comments and things like that, but I think I've got a good setup here. I've got my laptop. Hi, Zin. I miss you too. It's been such a long time. It's been such a long time since I've seen so many people. Quarantine life. This is the nature of what's going on in the world. Hi there, Karen. Karen's watching from Glasgow, Scotland. Terry says greetings from the UK. It looks like Donna's watching. Hi, Donna. Can't wait to see you soon. Anyone else that's hopping on there, please let me know where you're watching from. Always really, really interesting to know where our amazing family are coming from. I'm coming to you live from my kitchen. We made it home. We made it home. I'm sure if you watch my weekly broadcast, you know that we were live in Canada the last 2 weeks. Was it 2 weeks? Yes, I was live in Canada for 2 weeks. I was there for about 3 weeks, but I was live doing this video for 2 weeks. Hi there, John. He's watching from Glasgow. Also, Eric's watching from Las Vegas. Yeah, so we just flew back in from Canada yesterday, so I'm happy to be back here. Had the most magnificent time in Canada with my mother. Watching my daughter with her Nana was probably the most fulfilling thing I've seen in person, online, on TV in the last year, I have to say. Karen is saying hi from Nova Scotia, Canada, and Lisa is watching from Rhode Island. Awesome. So it's funny because I left Canada on a very important weekend in Canada. If you're not Canadian, maybe you don't know, but this is the Canadian Thanksgiving long weekend. So this is typically the weekend where everyone gets together and enjoys a big fancy meal and gathers with friends and family to be grateful for everything that they have. Mind you, I think it's a great practice to be grateful for what we have in our life and all of the abundance that flows every single day. We have this special holiday where flight fares go way up and turkeys become impossible to get your hands on and the like, so that we can get together and make it official. But it is Thanksgiving long weekend, so I wasn't there with my family. Obviously, most families, I don't think, are really getting together in Canada just because of what's going on in the state of the world. And I know in Canada, the idea is, cancel your Thanksgiving in the hopes that we might be able to have a Christmas. So that's, I think, what a lot of people are doing. William is watching from Scotland. Kay is watching from Scotland. What's up with Scotland in the house today? We've got so many people from Scotland. I think I've seen 4 different people saying they're from Scotland, which is crazy. And Glasgow, Scotland, of all places. I've been to Glasgow. I went when I was 23 because my sister, Stephanie, lived in Glasgow for a year, maybe just over a year, where she taught at a school. She did a school exchange, so she left her job in Ottawa and swapped jobs with a teacher from Glasgow. So she lived in Glasgow for a year. So the year after she left, or a couple of years after she left her 1-year stint, I went back there with her to visit her friends, and it was lovely. We drank a lot of beer. What is today's date? October 11th. Speaking of beer, this October 28th, I will be 3 years sober, which is pretty exciting. So I'll be celebrating that closer to the day. And then a few days after that, I'm gonna be 40 years old. So this is an amazing month. October, November switchover is always really celebratory time. And also, it was in between October and November of 2018 that I became pregnant with my daughter. So I love these months. These are my favorite months. Okay, new people that are joining me, let me know where you're watching from. I'm doing a couple of dishes here today that I love because of I just spent that time in Canada and it was autumn. Do people use the word autumn anymore? I don't know. It was the fall where the harvest is abundant and root vegetables are aplenty. Steven saying congrats. So I'm talking about I was pregnant in 2018. My daughter's now 15 months almost, which is exciting. I've got Julia watching from sunny Manchester. Oh, so cool. So crazy. So many people from across the sea. Sharon's watching from Cheeman Boat, just heading to Tobermory, Ontario in Canada. That will be cold on a boat at this time of year in Canada. Mind you, it was nice temperatures. It was about 70 degrees when I left on Saturday. Steven's watching from New York. Okay, so these dishes, two of them actually, are memories of my time in Canada. And I wanted to talk to you guys about one thing that I made before you guys came live with me today, and that was just some really easy homemade applesauce. I don't think my mom is watching yet. Oh, Terry Pearson. Terry Pearson just joined. So look, Mom, I made some applesauce because my daughter Kobe, who was visiting Canada with me and staying with my mom, she's a bit of a picky eater sometimes. I think because right now she's got some teeth coming in again. The only thing that we could guarantee getting into her when we were, hi Mom, was applesauce. And it's just a really easy one ingredient applesauce. So this was 3 different types of apples that I've peeled, sliced thinly, about eight apples in total, 3 different kinds that I sliced thinly, peeled, and threw into this pot with about a quarter cup of water, and I just had it cooking on the stove for about 15 minutes. So that is it. I didn't add anything else, nothing to sweeten it, no cinnamon, nothing, because I just wanted it to be really, really plain so I can use it in different ways. So this is going to be an ingredient in one of the recipes here, but I wanted to talk to you guys about that. Mash it, don't strain it. I'm going to put it in my blender, Ma. Is that okay? Because that's just easier. I'm going to throw it into my blender and I'll just give it a rough blend. If you guys have been watching me live here doing cooking, you know that I like using machines because it makes life easier. So anytime I can use a blender or a food processor, I use it. So I'm going to do that. Who have I got? Veni is watching from New Mexico, USA. My mom says it's okay. It's okay. Cynthia's watching from Rhode Island. It's okay to blend it. Or you could use your food processor, or you could just mash it, but here we go. There we go. That's all. Short work in a Vitamix blender. Oh, there's one piece in there that needs a breakdown. So this powerful blender makes short work of everything. So I'm going to pour that into a bowl. Hopefully you guys didn't just see up my skirt when I bent over there. I am wearing underwear. What was I saying? Where was I going with that before I just realized that I might have flashed y'all? Can someone remind me what I was saying? So my daughter is sleeping right now. She might not be anymore because I'm yelling because I'm just excited about life. But look at that. So much better than buying applesauce. And it's delicious. And the beautiful thing is I can add cinnamon when I serve it. I can serve it warm. I can serve it cold. I can do whatever I want. Levi, come say hello to the people, why don't you?
Oh, I was looking for her.
Oh, Levi was looking for the baby monitor because Kobe's napping.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Kobe just woke up.
Hello.
Say hi, Levi. This is my other Canuck. We're gonna have what I'm making right now for our Thanksgiving dinner tonight. Yeah. So he's gonna go get Kobe up. She's napping. She was such a great traveler, by the way. I don't know if any of you guys follow my Instagram stories. I was, chronicling our trip. Little girl is 14 and a half months old. Literally just started walking about 3 weeks ago. Like, she took her first steps right before we left for Canada, and then towards the end of my trip in Canada, was walking like crazy. But on the airplane, our final leg of our trip was from New Jersey to Liberia, Costa Rica. It's about a 5-hour flight. She did not fuss once. She did not cry. She did not want out of her car seat. I put her in her car seat before the flight, and I didn't take her out until we were through immigration here in Costa Rica. And she was so good. I just rotated through toys, books, snacks. Toys, books, snacks. Toys, books, snacks. And she had a nap, about an hour and 20 minutes. So thank you, travel gods, for gifting me this very stress-free travel. And I have to say that my daughter is a very chill daughter. She doesn't really fuss about much, so gratitude for her and her even-keeled personality. Vini says, I love my blender. Amen. Elias says, hey, I bet you're happy to be back in CR. Yes, I am. And you are also in CR, I believe, a little bit further south down the coast. So we have this applesauce, like I was saying. You can serve it hot, serve it cold, add cinnamon, add a bit of vanilla if you want. This is going to be an ingredient in a muffin that I'm going to show you guys how to make. And this muffin is phenomenal because it is really, really quick, really, really easy, and it is gluten-free, which is important to me right now because I am following a bit of a protocol. Just grabbing this out. This is for still? A little bit. A little bit hot. So I'm gonna move this. I'm running in circles here. I was doing so much stuff before I came live with you guys, so I've got lots going on here. What was I doing? So tired. 2 hours of jet lag, like the 2-hour time difference isn't that big of a deal, but it is. We stayed up too late last night, and I just ruined your made-for-TV moment. I'm gonna let that keep going. Okay. What? So, first things first, applesauce. Done. Check that off the list. Hey, my friends, new people joining in, let me know where you're watching from. And we're going to start on this other recipe. So this is a really easy recipe, and it's something that I made while I was at my mother's for the first time in a really long time. I hadn't actually made this particular recipe. I know, it's a lot of build-up. I just keep saying recipe. I haven't made this particular soup in a very long time because I always forget about soups, which is so funny because I serve them every single day at Rythmia. If you are new to this Facebook Live and have never heard of Rythmia, we are a life advancement center in sunny Guanacaste, Costa Rica. We offer a super holistic approach to healing body, mind, and soul through various modalities. Probably the most popular thing we are known for is our plant medicine, ayahuasca ceremonies. And alongside that, we have an incredible program that includes daily yoga, massage therapy, cleanses, colon cleanses, workshops, guest speakers from around, like world-renowned guest speakers. Jerry, our leader and friend and the creator of Rythmia, he does classes every week. It's just an incredible place. And it's all highlighted by a farm-to-table menu designed and curated by myself, working alongside the Ministry of Health here in Costa Rica and the various shaman and medicine workers that have worked with Rythmia throughout the years. I've been part of the team since 2016, shortly after Rythmia opened, and it's been such a blessing. We have soup served on the menu every single day. Because it's really nice and gentle on the stomach and easy for digestion, and also because, contrary to what people believe, eating hot things in hot climate actually helps to cool the body because it just gets your body into that, perspiration state and helps you cool down a little bit better. I have various cookbooks. This is my most recent one. It's called Food Fun with Meg. Includes a ton of recipes, all stuff that I've done here on this Rythmia Facebook Live. I also have 2 other cookbooks called Miracle Meals and Miracle Meals 2.0 that contains the most requested recipes from the buffet at Rythmia. And this recipe here is not on the menu, but it's really easy and it's similar to one of the ones that I do serve there. Abby says, so happy you had an amazing trip. Thanks for the applesauce recipe. I've been wanting to make some. Yeah, it's the easiest thing in the world, applesauce. This will be good in your refrigerator for about a week. Don't go any longer than that. I like to always store it in glass. And then if you want to make a big batch of it and you don't think you'll eat it in a week, throw it in the freezer in little containers in the freezer, and it'll be great. Because it's already soft, it doesn't really matter about the texture. Steven says, I rebooked for February 7th at Rythmia. Looking forward. Yes. I know, I've been talking to a lot of people online telling me how they've had to rebook because everything has been so uncertain in the world, but very, very soon we will be welcoming you. And if you've been to Rythmia, or even if you have not, I want to remind you that we have renovations taking place. So right now, all of the hotel rooms are being revamped. They're phenomenal. I've had a sneak peek. I know Jerry's going to probably be showing you guys over on here on the Facebook page at some point, a little sneak peek. We're getting a brand new pool put in, among many other things. I believe the restaurant is being expanded, so we have more seating space. So it's really, really an exciting time to come to Rythmia and enjoy all of this amazing newness firsthand. Okay, so what did I do here? I've got my pot. This is the same pot that can you see it? Yes, that I cooked my applesauce in. I don't like doing dishes, so I'm just gonna use the same pot. So I scraped out the applesauce. I've got the pot warming up with a little bit of coconut oil that I just put in there. And what I'm gonna do is once that gets cooking, I'm gonna throw in this half of the red onion that you just saw me slicing and a clove of garlic. And I'm actually gonna just throw this in right now. We'll hear it sizzling once it gets up to temp. Oops, just dropped some on the floor. So for this garlic clove, and if you've been watching for a while, you know that I have a little lazy trick. Peggy says, on my bucket list to get to Rythmia. I hope it's on everyone's bucket list. I don't think there's a time in life that, this kind of healing has been more needed, after what the whole world has been going through for the last, 7 months. I mean, I like to, like Jerry talks about it, and I like to think of this whole COVID thing as a bit of a ceremony in itself. You know, we've been forced to sit with ourselves in a way that we, you know, otherwise would never, possibly never have in this time of, you know, isolation and quarantine and aloneness, right? So I'm sure for me, I know it's true, a lot of weird stuff has been coming up. Not weird, but just stuff that I've had to emotionally work through and heal and recognize, and even in our relationship, like Leva and I, we've seen stuff coming up because we've been home together so in such an intimate way all of this time, and it's really a beautiful thing, and I'm grateful for that. And I think that's the key in all of this crazy is, you know, always looking for what gifts can be found. It's the only way we can keep ourselves sane, you know. That being said, I'm not going to say I'm not immune to the pain and the suffering that a lot of people have been dealing with because of it either. I mean, I've had some hard nights and some hard days. You know, I've danced with a bit of depression through all of this myself for various reasons. And like I was saying, I think that right now the time has come that more and more people are going to need the kind of deep healing that Rythmia has to offer. So I hope more people can come and experience that with us. Very, very excited. So what do I do there? I said I curated the menu. I also work with, you know, just getting people to the lay of the land. I teach a welcome class every Sunday and Monday to get all the guests kind of in the know about what to expect throughout the course of the week. I work with a lot of our special guests and our guest speakers, making sure that they're comfortable. My dog is freaking out outside. I teach some of the yoga, sometimes teach the dance class, help with the breath work. Sometimes I'm in the medicine ceremonies helping out, so I do a little bit of everything. And of course, do my Facebook Live every Sunday, normally from Rythmia. So we've been doing it from my home kitchen since March, which is so crazy. That's been such a long time. It'll be nice when I can actually do it and have people around like I normally do. Allie says your vibes are high. Thank you for this. Thank you for joining us. And Steven says feels brutal a lot of the time. Yeah, it's really hard. It's a big pause and a reset for sure. That's 100% what all of this is. It's been a reset not only for us, for humanity, but for Mother Nature. You know, and she's been able to heal so much during this time without all of us traveling and all the tourism and all of the crazy stuff that that life throws at her constantly. So I'm sure Mother Earth is very grateful for this break as well. So I've got those onions going. In the meantime, let's get started on. Well, these muffins look like they might be ready almost. So let's get started on the muffins, shall we? So I need a couple of bowls. Dun, dun, dun. Stainless steel. I love my stainless steel bowls. So what am I going to do here today? I'm going to start with my dry ingredients. So these muffins are really easy. Like I said, they're gluten-free. They are not vegan. I wouldn't try to, well, I mean, you can try to veganize them, but then probably won't turn out very well. Because the flour that I'm using here is coconut flour. So I've got about a half a cup of coconut flour. Tossing that in. And this is going to be my dry ingredients first. Well, you know what I want to do? Actually going to put it through my fine mesh sieve because everything in this country right now gets a little bit, because it's extreme humidity, it gets a little bit chunky and clunky. So I'm just going to put this through here, and you can see I've caught a few, maybe you can't see, and I'm just going to press those through. Beautiful. So we've got that. Then a couple of other ingredients in the dry. So this is baking powder. I'm going to put that in here. Again, pressing it through. And this is just helping make sure that I don't end up with big chunks of anything in the... That was, ginger. Powdered ground ginger and a little bit of cinnamon. So coconut flour, cinnamon, ground ginger, and baking powder. Easy breezy. Oh, my onions are doing well over here. They're actually doing so well, in fact, that I have to add some water. Hey, buds! My little girl just woke up from her nap. I'm sure she was hearing my voice and curious about what I was doing. So my bottom of my pot was getting a little bit too brown, so I just threw in a bit of water there. And what I'm going to add to, I'm doing 2 recipes at once, to my soup, which is just onions cooking in coconut oil right now. I'm going to add a clove of garlic. So, and I like, this is my lazy secret. I grab my rasp or my microplane and my clove, and I just, instead of mincing it, I just grate it. And I do this all the time. I do this with ginger also. It just saves me mincing it. There you go. Easy breezy. Run some water through this so that nothing gets stuck in the holes. You don't want your microplanes to get all clogged up. So there we go. Now we got the garlic, and I'm gonna let the garlic and the onion cook down a little bit more. What do we got here? Ali says I'm coming after all of this is over. Amazing. Well, we can't wait to have you. Steven's saying the breath work was fantastic at Rythmia. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Peggy likes my hair. Thanks. Mike says, what are you gonna do with that garlic? Smash it or grate it? Grate it, as always. Okay, back to the muffin recipe. Coconut flour, baking powder, ginger, and cinnamon. Easy breezy. So what am I gonna do with that? I'm gonna give it a little bit, just whisk it up. Make sure things are combined. Dun 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 dun, easy breezy. Wet ingredients. So now, I'm gonna just grab just a little, whoops. Making a mess. Okay, you know what I did forget though was my nutmeg. So I want to put some nutmeg in that there muffin recipe. So I need to wash this real quick. Forgot I had my nutmeg sitting there. So I want to get the garlic stank off my microplane. Give this a little bit of a dry. Okay, so now I'm going to just grate a little bit of, this is a fresh nutmeg here. So good. I like to do it this way. I feel like it just has better oomph to it than buying the ground nutmeg. So I'm just putting a little bit in there, not too much. There we go. 'Tis the season. Okay, soup is looking good. What I'm gonna add to this now is the star ingredient. And add a bit more water. I'm gonna show you guys. So this is how I like my onions to get to, is a point where they're just caramelized and brown. And I'm gonna scoop in my star ingredient, which is butternut squash. So this is a whole organic butternut squash that I had roasting at 400 degrees for about 45 minutes. So it's gonna be nice and soft. And I'm just gonna take the flesh and I'm gonna see, like, just scoop it out, scooping the flesh out, and I'm just gonna dump it into this pot. A little bit of the skin gets, I mean, you can eat the skin of butternut squash, so don't be too concerned if any of it ends up in your soup. You can substitute any squash you want, maybe not spaghetti squash. I mean, you could. We're gonna blend it when all is said and done. Pumpkin would be really, really good if you want to do a pumpkin soup. We serve a pumpkin soup at Rythmia. It's a pretty popular item. Bring that in there. Grab the other half. So this is hot because it's fresh out of the oven. If it wasn't so hot, it would be easier to handle. And I probably could have taken a bit more, put a bit more longer roast on it. But for TV, and it's soft enough, and it's going to cook a bit more right now in the pot here. While we work to meld all the flavors. Okay, fine. Good enough for TV, as we say. So, getting that all melding together. I'm going to put a bit more water in there just to make sure it doesn't burn. Then I'm going to add in another star ingredient for this time of year. This is ginger, so I'm going to put in a tiny bit of the ginger because I love the butternut and the ginger. Salt and pepper. I got my grind in some pepper. It's going to feel pretty sweet. This is pink Himalayan sea salt because of the butternut squash, and this is, see, even my salt's not coming out because it's so humid. It's going to feel pretty sweet because butternut squash is kind of sweet, and the other ingredient, what we're going to use for our milk, is coconut milk, so I don't need to show you the brand. But I wanted to show you guys something ridiculous. So, can opener. Everyone should know how to use a can opener, right? Well, I just learned about 3 weeks ago here with my partner how to actually use one of these things. Because there's many different styles, right? This particular one I've been using wrong for my entire life. In the kitchens, when you work in commercial kitchens, quite often you don't have can openers, and I digress. I mean, Rythmia, we have one. But many kitchens, chefs just use knives to cut open cans. They just wham the top of the can with a knife. It's just the way we do it. So I don't use can openers all that often. But this one, I was doing it like this all my life, trying to do it from the side. And it was never working. And then Levi just taught me that it's supposed to be like this. And it's a whole lot easier and a whole lot safer, because I was always ending up with crazy ragged edges on both the lid and the can. It was like causing injury, when this is how easy it should be. Isn't that ridiculous? It is what it is, my friends. It is what it is, and now I know. So I'm gonna put this whole can of organic, non-GMO coconut milk in there. Yum. And then I'm just gonna let that all heat through. So good. So, so good. So let that heat through. In the meantime, like the muffins that are in there, they're doing fine. Okay, back to the muffins. I think I had some comments with people asking some questions. What brand of knives do you use? You're not particular. I'm not that particular about the brands at all, especially since moving down here. It's really hard to get my hands on some really good quality knives living down in Costa Rica, and I like to replace my knives regularly because of that. This is just, I don't even know what this was. We bought it at a kitchen supply store. They have to just be good, solid chef knives with the blade that goes all the way through the handle, that feels good in the hand. That's really all that I care about. And honestly, I don't do all that much cooking at Rythmia anymore, because I have an amazing team that takes care of the day-to-day. So I'm cooking at home for the most part and doing these Facebook Lives. Okay, what was I doing? Muffins. So we've got the dry ingredients. It was coconut flour, baking powder, cinnamon, ginger, and nutmeg. Now for the wet. The wet ingredients is going to start with our star recipe ingredient, which is the applesauce that we made. And I need about 2/3 cup. So this is going to be my daughter's most favorite thing to snack on for the rest of the week. Then, which makes us not vegan, is we need 4 eggs. Easy breezy. So I've got my eggs here. And you might have noticed that I just grabbed a cup, because I like to always individually crack my eggs into a smaller vessel before I dump them into my recipe, because if I get a shell, it's a lot easier to fish a shell out of this little cup than the big bowl where I already have all my other ingredients. I know I've talked about this every time I use eggs, but I think it's worth reiterating and reminding people. 3, 4 eggs. So these are beautiful pasture-raised eggs. You can tell by the orange, beautiful color. Well, that's not how, you can't tell by that, but they're not pale yellow, ugly eggs. My soup is starting to come to a little bit of a boil here. Not a boil, but a nice bubble. And that's just gonna help cook down that squash in its peel. A lot more peel went in there than I had hoped, but it's organic, so I don't give a hoot. So eggs, applesauce, coconut oil is gonna be our oil for this recipe, so great, good fat. Maple syrup, another homage to my Canadian roots. And I'm gonna throw in some vanilla powder. I don't have, did I put this in the dry? I don't think I did. I'm just gonna toss that into my wet. So this is an organic vanilla powder. Then I'm gonna just whisk that all together. I should have maybe put the eggs in there first and whisked them on their own and then added all the ingredients in, but pura vida. Steven says he likes the black beans at Rythmia. So that, yeah, the black beans are just so easy. It's such a traditional recipe here in Costa Rica, just black beans, not from a can, from a bag, or you buy them in bulk. Just cooked down, soaked overnight, and then cooked down with onion and red pepper. And then we usually always cook it with some cilantro and then add fresh cilantro before serving. Really, really good. All right, so now, you can't really see and I don't want to tip it too much, but there's all the wet combined, so I'm going to pour those into my dry bowl. And as with any muffin recipe, I don't want to mix too much, but this is a little bit different because there's no gluten, there's no flour in it. Just need to make sure that it's well incorporated. And I'm going to let it sit for a few moments. So I want to show you how runny it is. See, look at how it's a runny mess right now, which is beautiful. It's a runny mess right now. And then we're going to let it sit and you'll be amazed by what happens. Okay, so soup, done ski. You see that? No, but I'm going to show you. So it doesn't look like much right now. Whoop. bumpy ride for you guys. You still with me? Yeah, you're still with me, but I think I've lost a bit of my framing here. Hi, Neil. Where are you watching from, my friend? Anyone that's just hopping on, let me know where you're watching from. So I'm going to take this soup and I'm going to put it into my high-powered blender here. Now, if your blender, dump it all in at once. My high-powered blender is suitable for this because the lid does not seal on properly. It's perfect. It's specially meant for cooking. I'm going to add actually a bit of water too, so just help thin it out a bit. I'm going to add about a cup of water. And because it's super rich with all of the ingredients in there, coconut milk especially. My blender specifically is designed for working with hot ingredients, so it has this little insert where air can escape. If your blender does not have that, use an immersion blender or a food processor even. So then I'm just going to be very careful. I'm going to put a towel on top always, just in case. There we go. Coconut soup than it is a butternut squash soup, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, you know what I can do? For a double whammy, because it had more, do I not have any turmeric left? I don't have any turmeric, but what I do have, I don't even have any curry powder, so I was gonna cheat and put some turmeric in there to give it some extra color. But alas, I cannot, so it is a mild yellow butternut squash soup. Delicious. It's more coconut, you can't even see, than it is butternut. Let's give it a taste. But it's delicious. And that's gonna be our dinner tonight. So that's the soup recipe. For that entire can of coconut milk, maybe I would put in, another half of a butternut squash, or if I had a bigger one, that was quite a small butternut squash, but that's still delicious. Adding in a carrot or two or sweet potato would be also really, really great. Really great flavors. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to show you what's been going on with my muffin batter. So look at this. It's really, the coconut flour really thickens up. So it doesn't look like a lot. A half a cup is not a lot of flour for a whole recipe of muffins, but it really thickens up. So that's what happens. And then what I did was I just scooped that mix into a muffin tin. Put it in front of the light here. And then we have this amazing gluten-free apple spice muffin. I'm going to just show you the texture. These are really hot because they literally just came out of the oven. But look at that. So good. Some fresh butter, ghee, or coconut oil on there. Amazing. A cup of tea or a cup of coffee in the morning. That is it. Easy breezy, right? 2 recipes. If I hadn't been yapping the whole time, it would have happened a lot quicker. Priscilla's saying aloha from Hawaii. Peggy's watching from Rapid City, South Dakota. So that is it, my friends. Easy breezy, right? The easiest recipes to show some gratitude to the fall harvest and to my body, because these are all really beautiful, great ingredients and great recipes. So here's to our health. Here's to your health. Here's to a beautiful rest of your Sunday. And here's to us all finding a lot of healing in this crazy, crazy time. Hi, George Bell from Stony Creek. So good to have you. All right, my friends, join me next week. Don't forget to join Dr. Jeff tomorrow evening. He'll be live, as well as John Jacob and Paola and Jerry and the whole squad. Thank you, Mike, for watching. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you guys next week. Ciao.